more bodywork, primer, paint, that's what we're going to be doing on my 2005 Dodge Dakota box. Let's go. Welcome back if you're not new here, and if you are new, welcome. So, you saw the last videos. I got my new compressor all set up, new to me anyway. Well, I went ahead and custom made everything here. It's awesome, it's working fantastic. I love it. I took my little guy out of here and put it in the other building. Got my dryer all set up. This is primo. I have used this before, and what it does is takes all the moisture out of the air lines so that you're not spraying water into your paint. It's awesome. I've got a water vapor catcher right here. So here's how it works. It comes out of here, loops into my dryer, comes out into my catch canister, and then into my hose, which is over here. I will show you the progress I've made on the box behind me. But here is my setup. So guys, this is where the real magic sort of happens. This is where you want your regulator. You want it on your gun. You don't want to regulate it on your compressor because that's not the true meaning of Christmas. This is where you want your regulator. I'm going to be shooting for, I think I'm going to do like in between 25 and 35 PSI. I've had this stuff for ages. I mean, probably 10 years it's been kicking around. Ooh, there's something in there. Is that an air bubble? I think it's an air bubble. Anyway, I've been stirring this up and it's pretty much come back to life. It's been through winters and hot summers, below zero temperatures, negative, all that kind of stuff. And it's looking pretty good. This is actually primer sealer, and I am gonna go ahead and shoot it on the box anyway. This is gonna make sure that I don't, it's gonna be like a rust preventative sort of thing, and I need that here in good old New York State. Now, I've been reading online, one guy, I don't remember the name of his channel, but he was doing, this calls for 1-to-1 ratio, and he was saying he was doing 2-to-1, 2 parts this, 1 part of this. Right here, this stuff, by the way, my local parts store couldn't get it. So we got this specialty reducer that this stuff only works with. So I had to special order this off of Amazon. It wasn't too bad, it was like 20 bucks, 22 bucks. This stuff works with this stuff, and it pretty much, you can use other stuff with this, but when you're doing a project like this and putting in the time in that I've done with this stinking thing, you don't want to take any chances of having any chemical reactions. So I went ahead and just spent, 22 bucks for this? It was worth it. Okay, with tax and everything, 30 bucks. I've got everything set up behind me as well. As you can see, I've got my tools pretty much protected. I just have these plastic drops alongside the walls where I have my tools hanging, where my toolboxes are, as you can see, and pretty much goes to over here. And I think I should be good. Let's take a look on the inside of the box. I did tape this off. So here it is, taped off on the inside. And I think the reason why I did is because the factory paint is super nice. I mean, it's way harder than the paint that I'm going to be putting in here. So I think I'd rather even just have the factory paint that's in there. Plus, I'm going to put a bed liner in here. And I think before I do put the bed liner in here, see, I haven't had my coffee yet. That's a tongue twister. I'm going to go ahead and paint it black. Or I think right there, I do have this right here. I might paint this in here. I don't know. I just want to get the truck done. But you guys really haven't seen the progress. Okay guys, I'm so sorry, but in order to show you the progress, I have to show you how we arrived there. Okay, go ahead, roll the clips. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Carburetors and coffee. Man, it's beautiful out and it's sunny. So let's take a walk into the garage, shall we? We're in the garage. And I'm going to show you why, because we're continuing on the bed of the Dakota. Last time I showed you we were working on a lot of Bondo and stuff like that. And today, we're going to work on this big old dent right here, ladies and gents. Big old dent, ladies and gent. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and we are gonna get the stud welder. We're gonna start yanking on this thing. Probably gonna have to bust out the torches and heat this up so that we can get a good pull on it and do some annealing and soften this metal up to get it pulled out. And obviously, as you can see, I did a lot of work to it on the top. Did that in one of the previous videos. And, you know, did a bunch of prep work to it. Did some prep work here. So we're gonna do some hammer and dolly work today, kinda. Probably not dolly so much, but hammer and a lot of torch and stud welder. So let's grab that stud welder. We're gonna get the torches out. Should be a pretty productive day. Gotta get this thing done. Really tired of this box being in here. And you know, it's just dead on the lift. Can't really do anything else till this is done and out of here. After this thing is done, I'll have to get the truck in here and start on the frame. All right, let's get this. We'll get these torches out and move all this stuff. We'll get the torches out because I know I'm gonna need them. And then we'll set you guys up so you can see everything. Let's go. Okay, if you notice, these things are just tapered and they don't actually screw in, but you do have to wrench them out and then give them a tap to hold them in. All right, we're gonna bring it over here and we'll start somewhere. I don't know, maybe I'll start in here. Or, you know, sometimes it doesn't matter. I used to think start on the edges, but I'll probably start putting a bunch in and then start heating it up and then pulling on it rather than just putting one in and pulling. I'll get like an army of them in here and see how it goes. Well, as you can see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them on there. I'm not even gonna try to start pulling on them without heating them up because I know that it's gonna start bending them and then I'm not gonna be able to get the slide hammer on there and it's gonna be tough to go from there. So I'm gonna start heating this up right away, put the slide hammer on there, and it should be way easier. Let's get to it. Okay, I'm getting there. Slow but sure. Actually, it's going pretty quick. I'm over pulling on it because then I can hammer it down, and I think I'm just gonna go a couple more times right here. I don't want to touch it because it's piping hot. Here and like here, and that should just about do it. The rest is gonna have to be done with filler. And then I'm noticing a problem I'm running into. So these holes, I'm gonna try not to create any more holes. And I don't think my welder, I don't know if my cord is gonna be able to reach all the way over here. I might have to just fill this with body filler. I'd like to metal weld it, but we'll have to see. If my welder reaches over here, I'll do it. But I'm not gonna worry about it if I have to just fill it with body filler. Sound good? I know, it doesn't. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. All right, let's keep going. And there you have it. Now I know that was a lot, but I had to catch up on what I had done. So now here's the continuation of the progress I had made. And then we can continue with primer and paint. Check it out, you guys. Look at how good I did the body work. It's not bad. Now here is just a little crease right there, but this is against the cab of the truck. It's looking good, if I do say so myself. It's all scuffed. Pretty much I scuffed it because it was really dusty. It's been about 2 weeks since I've been in here doing something with this. I'll be honest with you, we've had like many storms and power outages. It's just been really unpredictable weather, and I've been busy with other things. So let's get to mixing paint and I should say primer. Get this thing shot. Oh, I also got one of these. Nice, huh? It's a combo kit. Paint and body, you know it's good when it's a combo kit. Spray painting, pro face mask, grinding and sanding. I'll never use it for that. I'll only use it for this. I like breathing in particles of sand and stuff, so I have my own filtration system. All right, let's get to this mixing and stuff, and we're gonna do 1-to-1, and hopefully I don't get stung today. All right, let's get to it. All right, you guys, if you're having trouble finding any mixing cups, found these at Lowe's. I don't remember how much they were, but they were, I don't know, less than $1 a piece. So I definitely was in a pinch for finding these things, and lo and behold, Lowe's. So we're going for a 1-to-1 ratio. Let me show you how to do this. So I'm gonna be filling up our cup, probably to, I'm gonna say 6. Then I'm gonna take and pour in our reducer, and then the line's gonna go, I'm gonna be here with primer. I know I suck at explaining stuff. Then the level's gonna start going up with reducer all the way up to the 6 right here. Okay? Let's see if I can do this on camera here. I'll tell you, that fan sounds like a little Lycoming engine to a Cessna. There, I'm gonna go up to that number 6 right there with primer. Okay, that's good right there. Take my tape off. And there we are. We're at number 6. Now we're gonna go over to the next window and go all the way up to 6 when we add our reducer. All right, there we go. That is 1-to-1. I'd say here's another pro tip, but I'm no pro, so this is an amateur tip. These cups right here, they work just fine. I mean, these ones here are actually way better. You just gotta clean them out every time. These disposable ones are okay. Just right here, you gotta wrap them with Teflon, or everything's just gonna run right out the gun when you put this stuff in. All right, it's time to put it in the gun and shoot this thing. Let's do it. You know, I'm not trying to toot my own, oh, hang on a second. Okay, not trying to toot my own horn, you know, but it's like I've been doing this for years. I was just about done. Actually, I was done. And I was like, well, let me just shoot the top rail of the box over here. It doesn't really need it, but I think I got some left. And boom, it was out. So it was the perfect amount that I mixed, and I didn't have any left over. I didn't mix under, I didn't mix over. It was perfect. Man, so I guess I am a pro. Not really. This mask, I highly recommend it. That's a Harbor Freight one, and it works really good. But like anything, you know, you just can't breathe if you're not used to, you know, like the alien thing on your face. So other than that, it works great. I am gonna say that I do not like those disposable cups. They suck. Don't use them ever. When I poured the stuff in, if I didn't have Teflon on there, forget about it. Forget about it. Because it started going down the threads and I thought it was gonna leak out big time. But because I wrapped it, it didn't. It stopped right at the coupler housing thing, port, whatever, you know what I'm saying. And it stopped, so it didn't come out. So that was good. That was a good thing. But I'm gonna let that vent a little bit, and then I think tomorrow will be the day where I shoot color on this thing. But then we'll, I don't know if I'll Scotch-Brite the primer sealer. We'll see. I'll have to see what kind of bugs want to land in there. They're attracted to bodywork, that's for sure. Who knows? We'll have to see. But until then, I'll see ya in the morning and we'll check this thing out, okay? See ya. Bye. next day, and this is where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. I'm a little nervous today because, I was a little cocky yesterday because it was just primer. Today, it's actually color. And having learned my lesson from yesterday, this was up too high and I was struggling with getting inside the box, inside the box. Thinking outside the box. Now I'm thinking inside the box. I'm gonna lower this so that I can actually step in there, shoot inside first, then raise it up, and then shoot the outside. And I hope I can just do one shot of color and be done with it. So I think I'm gonna lay it on pretty thick. But if I gotta do another coat, I gotta do another coat, It is what it is. I've got plenty of color. And that brings me to over here. Let me tell you all about this paint. This is pretty cool. Check this out. Okay, this paint right here is actual U.S. Army Edition paint. It's not a knockoff, it's not a reproduction. This is what the Army actually uses on like their A1 Abrams tanks, their Bradleys, their Humvees. This is what they use in the Middle East. This is number 686 tan. I'll put all this information here in the description below if you're interested in it. This stuff is actually pretty inexpensive for what it is. I was actually pretty surprised, but this is what I wanted, this sort of motif on this car. I was like thinking, geez, I'd love to have the color of the, the Bradleys, the A1 Abrams, and the Humvees. So I actually found the correct paint. Now, let's talk about how to mix this stuff. They recommend diluting this. We're doing a 5-to-1. This is what they recommend as far as the 5-to-1 and diluting, and the guy that I contacted, very helpful when I approached him on how to mix the stuff. I sent him an email on the stuff because there's no directions on the back of this. He recommends this xylene. Okay, he said if I couldn't find it, I could use mineral spirits, but I was able to find this with no problem. So this is what he recommended. Now, trying to mix a 5-to-1, there's no 5-to-1 on here. So I went on the old Google machine, and I think what I'm going to do is I looked up 20 ounces, just flat 20 ounces. That'll be like 16.5 to about 3.5. So we're going to do about 16.5. This is rough. It doesn't have to be super perfect. We're going to do 16.5 of this to 3.5 of this. Really, it's more like 16.5 plus to about a little less than 3.5. So, give or take. But when you're talking those sort of numbers, it's going to be close. So I'm going to do like 16.5 to like 3.5. Okay, and that'll bring us up to a 5-to-1 ratio, and we'll get right about 20 ounces, which is right here. So I got to figure this all out. Here's a 16 ounce right there, and then I'll probably go up to, I don't know, somewhere in here, and then I'll do the rest with this, and that should work out just fine. Coffee talk before I start, okay? First of all, I need coffee. You need coffee. We need coffee. I opened up that paint and I was thinking, I am not gonna make a mess. I spilled it. So stupid. And then I didn't film me putting the reducer in, and you don't need to see that. I mixed it right, okay? I hope. And I went a little over, so then I added a little bit of the, not the 5, but the 1 part a little bit over. So pretty much it's like eyeballed, but the consistency looks pretty darn good. So we're just gonna hope and pray that it is pretty darn good. And what I'm gonna do, I'll put it in the gun, and then I'll shoot like a test pattern on the, whatever the clear stuff is in there. The cellophane, yeah, the saran wrap in there. I need more coffee. And then hope all my patterns and everything are good. I would like to not have to mix anymore, and maybe just get away with shooting this once and that's it. But anyway, I've got it down, as you can see. I've got my King Diamond in the queue on my little stupid MP3 player. You know, I could really use a new MP3 player, so if anybody wants to sponsor me, you know, with a MP3 player, that'd be great. Any who's a wuzzle, I think I should get in here and start masking up and get this thing done. What do you think? All right, let's do it. King Diamond time. Well, some time has passed. Had to get the box out of the garage, and it's in here. But it's all done and painted, so now it is time for the big reveal. Check this thing out. It came out really nice. Hopefully you can see it, and it'll show up on camera. But we're gonna go ahead and tear out the paper that I had on the inside of the box, and it looks pretty nice. There's not a lot of light in here, but let's give it a look. We'll start out here, guys. You know, like I said, I am sorry it's kind of dark, but take my word for it. It came out really, really nice. It has been in here a while, and it looks like a bird pooped on it or something. I don't know where that would have come from, but hopefully as I walk in here, the camera will adjust and sort of not be so dark in here. But let's take a look in here. As you can see, you know, I didn't get all the dings and dents out of the bed rail. Not a huge deal. But if you look down the side, everything looks pretty good. You can see all the imperfections. It's really not bad at all. All right, we're gonna go ahead and set you up on the tripod and tear this paper out of here. Okay guys, there you have it. It came out really nice, and when I was taking that paper out, it actually like looked a lot better, even more so. It was kind of like, you know, I was a little kid again unwrapping a Christmas present. So I know that wasn't the best reveal I could have done, but I can't get the box out here again for a daylight review. It has to stay in here for now until I get the truck into the garage so I can get the paint on the frame, and then it'll be a better reveal once I have the box out, the truck right here, and then get the box on top of the truck. And that's where you guys come in. You got to stick around. Please subscribe. I really want to hit that 500 mark for like the end of the year. That would be great. And that's where I need your help. I really need you to like, sub, and you know, hit the notification so that when I do upload shorts and videos, you guys can say, hey, he uploaded one, I want to go support him. And it's free. You don't need to pay for a subscription, because you'd be like, well, I don't have any money. It's free. You don't need to pay for it. So that you can follow me along for my Dodge Dakota sort of reveal. It's sort of like a I don't know if you want to call it a restoration, but it's more like a revival. You can go back and look at those videos and see the Will It Start. I also have a ton of other Will It Start stuff and tutorials and things like that. But you gotta like and subscribe, okay? All right, enough of that. I appreciate you sticking around for this one, and we'll see you on the next one.